From the deck of a ship or the window of an airplane, the Pacific Ocean appears to be a flat, peaceful expanse. It is a featureless void that we simply travel across, with the surface offering no record of the events that happen beneath it. This blank surface creates a massive bias in our understanding of history. We base our record of the past almost entirely on what survives on dry land, leaving millions of square miles of the human story unexamined. For centuries, when fleets vanished or coastlines were suddenly destroyed, historians lacked the physical evidence to explain why. These events were written off as unsolvable mysteries or attributed to divine intervention. We are now able to look past that surface. By using modern 3D sonar technology, we can virtually drain away the water and expose the jagged, complex topography of the seafloor in high definition. Treating the ocean floor as a forensic site is allowing researchers to solve decades-old cold cases. In the process, the evidence found on the seabed is actively overturning long-held historical assumptions. In 1281, a massive cold case began off the coast of Japan. An invasion fleet of 4,000 Mongol ships vanished, ending Emperor Kublai Khan's attempt to expand his empire east. Ancient legends and historical texts credited a divine wind, the original kamikaze, for wiping the invaders from the map. Without shipwrecks to examine, the mythological explanation became the historical fact. Modern 3D scans of Amari Bay show a different reality. The seafloor holds a massive spread of shipwreck debris. Forensic evidence reveals these ships were constructed with flat, shallow river keels, lacking the deep, V-shaped geometry required for stability in the open ocean. This engineering flaw made the fleet critically unstable and top-heavy. When they encountered a seasonal typhoon, the ships were unable to right themselves in the heavy swells and were torn apart by the sea. The destruction of the fleet was the result of a deadly collision between bad human engineering and natural weather. By World War II, naval warfare was defined by massive, heavily armored machines like the Japanese battleship Yamato. It was the largest battleship ever built, carrying 16 inches of steel armor plate. Along with the American aircraft carrier USS Lexington, these ships were the most powerful weapons at sea. Yet both were lost with a speed and a level of devastation that traditional battle reports couldn't fully explain. Drained wreck sites reveal that these ships were subjected to overwhelming violence. Both the Yamato and the Lexington lie in multiple sections, their broken hulls scattered hundreds of feet apart on the seabed. Forensic evidence on the hulls proves the catastrophic force came from inside the ships. The steel armor was shredded by an internal pressure that far exceeded the power of enemy bombs or torpedoes. The true killers were ruptured aviation fuel lines and ignited weapon magazines. These internal catalysts turned the world's most powerful warships into floating time bombs. Even the greatest battleships were ultimately destroyed by the volatility of their own internal technology. A forensic investigation of the Pacific Northwest coast reveals a biological mystery from the year 1700. Thousands of red cedar and spruce trees died instantly, creating what are now known as ghost forests. Geologists have spent decades trying to understand what could kill an entire coastal ecosystem at once, without leaving a clear written record of a disaster on land. Scans of the seafloor reveal a 700-mile fault line known as a subduction zone. Here, two tectonic plates lock together, accumulating immense pressure. In 1700, these plates violently snapped. The resulting megaquake displaced the ocean, forcing a massive column of water toward the surface. This displacement created a tsunami that drowned the Cascadia forests in saltwater and traveled completely across the Pacific to strike Japan. The seafloor acts as a geological tape recorder, proving that the quiet Pacific coast is perched on top of an active tectonic monster. The tectonic threats and unstable canyons discovered on the seafloor are still highly active. They represent a constant danger to anything resting on the seabed. Today, the modern world places its most critical infrastructure directly onto this dangerous terrain, using specialized cable-laying ships. 98% of the global internet runs through cables laid across these volatile fault lines, converging into narrow choke points within deep, unstable canyons. In 2006, an earthquake triggered a massive underwater landslide that wiped out multiple lines simultaneously. The impact was immediate. Severing those lines froze billions of dollars in global transactions and paralyzed economies on both sides of the Pacific. Global data demands are doubling every 2 years. This is forcing us to lay even more high-speed cables into these exact hazard zones. The Pacific Ocean is an active, destructive machine. Mapping its hidden depths has become essential for the survival of our modern world.